Hello! Sorry we're late.
late.
We were interrupted by Jason spilling beer and nostalgia over talking about Spectrum games.
Not me, as in them doing that bit.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if Jason's ever played a Spectrum game.
No.
Don't know what you're missing.
Oh, I broke the tweezers.
Okay.
It started so well.
In fairness, it's only spot welded. How is that spot welded? It must be glued.
It must be welded, isn't it? Surely.
Well, there's no sign of that on the outside unless they polish it off after. Maybe.
All I can claim is not anymore.
Clearly not. Well, that's going to be a boon for my nose hairs.
Oh God.
Well, you just have to use. You just have to try and use them like chopsticks.
Perhaps we should go back to to Spectrum games.
I think the mission is actually I can't remember the mission. Well, we were doing something in this game.
The mission is you were about to. Sorry.
You were about. You spent all your Karama points to throw your knife right in that guy's head.
Oh yeah, let's do
and then
that.
You're going to attack the Bene Gesserit up their nose with some tweezers.
Can't now. I broke those.
That's torture.
No, I told you, you're just going to have to use them like chopsticks. Just
biting both nostrils.
You strap them to a chair and you pull their nose hairs out one by one until they talk.
I'll have to do it with my fingernails.
Anyway,
yeah.
Yes, I don't think you're actually at the in the fighting pitch yet. It was sort of prep beforehand.
Yeah.
And I think you were waiting for Burton to shoot you up with all the drugs you could handle.
Actually, I'm not going to worry.
I'm
just going to head out there as I am.
Well, adrenaline is supposed to be a brilliant placebo.
Actually, it will play in our favour.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, if you get found out again, you get another reputation for fighting more.
See, last time you told us that this was common and everyone does it.
It is, but as long as you don't get found out.
Yeah.
So
small print, Phil.
Hey,
small print.
So you arrive at the gladiatorial pits, and you're shown to your changing room, your dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear the crowd outside screaming and shouting as there's another fight going on. Has Darius gone as well?
Yes.
Okay. And Burton, I take it you're there attending Atomica for the fight. Okay.
Holding towels, all that stuff.
Yeah, Burton will be with me. I imagine Darius might actually want to be with the knobs in amongst the spectators, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah. That's where I am.
In with the knobs.
What can I say?
It's a big row of basically dildos and butt plugs, and then Darius in the middle. In with the knobs.
What can you
I was going to say something really serious and sort of important to the character development and the plot. But at the moment, I'm...
just sat there in a gimp suit in amongst all the knobs.
Just sat there with an array of butt plugs and dildos.
This is harking back to Prince King.
Clearly, no, I mean, I suppose I would be in the... this world's version of a director's box.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can be with the Evangelista sort of entourage. Not necessarily with the family, but with the people. And Burton, once Atomica goes out to actually fight, are you going to go and watch from the stands, or are you going to stay in the changing room in case she comes back wounded?
Is it possible for me to actually be on the sidelines in order for me to actually like run in if needs be?
Well, in a way, it's almost like a Colosseum type setup. You would have to come in through a door, but you can watch from behind the door. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that then.
Okay, so you the crowd sort of just a huge roar from the crowd, and you sort of get the impression that that's the last fight finishing, and it sort of settles down a bit, and you can hear some guy shouting in the background, and it's sort of you can't really understand what he's saying, and there's a big cheer, and then someone knocks on your door and says, "It's time for your fight, Miss Hyman."
Good. Let's get this over with.
And
I'm
you're going
actually quite thirsty, so.
Good luck.
You're going up the 2 knives, I believe, and the shield.
Yeah.
Okay, and as the door slides open and you walk out onto the sands, there's banked crowds around you, all shouting and jeering. And there's a guy, a fairly big guy, sort of stripped to the waist. He's got like a half shield belt on, and he's standing there, and he's got his 2 knives up, and he's playing to the crowd, and he's got his arms out wide, and he's turning around in a circle, just getting the cheers off the crowd. As you walk out into the sand, and they announce you as you walk in.
And how does the crowd react to me? Is it booing?
Yeah, it's booing, yeah.
Okay.
There's a bit shocked at go, get her, cut her head off.
Rather colourful local crowd, aren't they?
They always
free
back
with their
the,
language.
They always,
I'm gonna moon the box that Darius is in.
So he's a butt plug as well, then.
moon the box.
Well, I know the Evangelistas are in there, so I'm gonna moon it.
Okay, that sort of has it. That has the effect
in the
afternoon. Of quieting the crowd down quite substantially. They're quite shocked at that.
You know this ongoing gag I have about the reams of paper I'm going through of diplomatic incidents. I'm running out of paper.
Yeah, you better buy some wallpaper. It's on a nice long roll.
Oh God.
So yeah, the crowd immediately quietens down as you do that.
They told me that I'd be fighting the best your has to offer. Sorry, that's my words getting muddled up. They told me I'd be fighting the best your house has to offer. Is this it?
She does have a certain cheek about her, doesn't she?
Is there no one better?
And he looks at you and he says, I think you'll find I'm more than enough to send you on your way.
Who am I sitting with?
You're probably sitting with your counterpart from Evangelista, your opposite number.
Atomica is by far and away the most adept and able fighter I have ever seen. How do you feel about your man there?
I feel supremely confident, especially when you have someone that don't seem to be able to secure her belt around her waist correctly.
Would you care to make a small wager upon this?
Oh, yes, certainly. I'm willing to bet on that, on our man, certainly. How much are you talking?
Yeah, I feel extremely confident. Shall we say 100?
Why don't we say 150?
Oh, I hate such
Are you not that confident?
numbers.
Are you not that confident?
Oh, I'm extremely confident, but I hate such odd numbers. Let's make it a more round and open figure. Let's call it 2.
2. Okay, it'll be a pleasure to take your money from you.
What is
Yes.
the prize for this fight, by the way?
What for you?
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know. You get a nice pouch, a money pouch.
Because I've got this
Purse,
spare
sorry, purse.
ornithopter.
You get a nice purse for it, and obviously
Hello?
notoriety.
Just
You
to
fight
say
for the
hello,
honour of your house.
just to say hello for Duke, bye for Duke,
Hello,
sweet dreams for Duke.
hello, and goodbye. Yeah, you get a nice purse and the notoriety and the honour of fighting for your house. The other guy is going to get set free, which you found out in the last session. It's his way to freedom.
It's the best your house could find a slave?
Yeah, he's been trained as a gladiator.
If he was any good, he would have fought his way to freedom already against his masters.
Does your house? I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but does your house keep slaves or anything like that, or is that again your?
No, we have a penal colony system, and we are the galaxy's biggest exporter of number plates. But aside from that, no, I don't think we do slavery.
Okay. So this guy
We do
is sort of
economic indentitude.
so this guy finishes his posing and his playing to the crowd. He's getting prepared to get ready to fight, and he walks over and stands in front of the box, the royal box sort of thing, and waits for you to come and take your place next to him.
I'll saunter over to the royal box.
You
Really, no one better?
I look to my counterpart and start to look a little nervous. You do feel confident on your champion then?
Oh, very confident. He's never been beaten. He's been trained and trained and trained in. Yeah, he is the best.
Then perhaps just so as to gauge the difficulty between the disparity between our two champions. Would you be prepared to lay odds? For example, if we lose, as you surely believe that we will, I will gladly pay you the 200. But should we win, this rarity that you say, is it rare enough for you to pay double?
But I get double if you. I give you double if you win, but I just get 200 if. That's the stop.
It's odd. Well, you seem to be quite. You seem to be very confident that you're going to relieve me of 200. I would like a bit of show of that confidence.
I'm extremely confident. He says, "I'll take on your bet."
Wonderful. Excellent.
Okay. So the ordering more box comes up to the front, up to the parapet, and he does a bit of a speech and he says a few words. Our famous champion will take on this visitor from House Savona, and we'll show them how fantastic the evangelistas are with another victory. And this will be his final victory before he is set free to become a citizen. And all the crowd are shouting, yeah. And there's a band starts playing in the background, mostly drums, just, and he says, take your places.
dum, dum, da, da, dum, 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 da, 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 dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, da, dum.
Yep.
Dear me. A little bit classier than that. So yes, so he walks over to his sort of area on the sands, on the combat sands, and waits for you to take up your position.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do so
you-
casually.
do everything very casually, and he's sort of preparing, he's sort of getting himself in position, and he's just loosening his shoulders up as he's just preparing himself. And the lord in the box picks up a gold looking hammer and strikes a bell with it to
And
start
the
the fight.
moment that bell strikes, my 4 karama points are spent, and the knife is en route.
Oh dear! So you're gonna and you're aiming for the head, I believe you said.
Straight between the eyes. Like basically, I'm blowing all of my karama points here. So my goal is basically that the moment that bell strikes, the knife leaves my hand and it strikes him so fast after the start of the fight that he is still in the process of switching his shield on, and it might have just started to emanate as the knife passes.
Yes, as you say, he's carrying the 2 traditional knives for the fight. And obviously he's got one up in sort of a guarding position, and as he's bringing the one down to hit the button, you sort of throw the knife, and he continues to move, not quite understanding at the time what you've initially done. Are you hitting your shield, or are you just
Nah, I'm
standing?
assuming I've blown enough karama points here not to have to worry about any counter attack.
Well, you've burned them all effectively, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said.
So yeah, and as he manages to hit the button, as he's actually just touching the button on his shield, it sort of clicks what you've done, and he's sort of like, his eyes go wide, and he starts bringing his other knife hand up, and just before he covers his face, the knife hits him in the forehead, and he falls over backwards, just splayed out on the sand. And the crowd goes completely silent.
Somebody could clean my knife and bring it to me in my changing room. That would be great, thank you. And I walk off.
In the box, the guy is poised with the glass at his lips, just staring down at the sand.
As you come
400,
past
I
it, something
believe.
I go, that was quick.
As Atomika's walking back from the arena back through the tunnels to the changing room, everyone just sort of stops and just watches her pass and just sort of thing.
And as I get to the door, and I'm tempted to sort of say something as I go. And what would have the most impact? Oh,
The knife.
a knife. If you find anyone better, give me a call. And I walk out.
Back in the box, he's still standing. Everyone's stunned in the box, and they all sort of turn to look at you, Darius. And
What can I say? Pride goeth before the fall, as they say. However, I won't ask for the funds at this time. I sort of lean into rather than embarrass you in front of all your colleagues here, perhaps the transaction could be made at a more discreet location.
he says, "You tricked me into that bet."
I tricked nothing.
You
You
tricked
were
me into that bet.
you were extremely confident. I had no idea. I mean, I to be honest, I thought Atomica would make more of a fight of it, but I'm as surprised as you as to the speed of her victory. But I'm not surprised by her victory at all.
And you can see some of the family members they're just leaving the box.
Yeah,
A
I
more
actually able to
discreet
find you.
a more discreet location, I believe, of the payment of funds, I believe, would be the right move at this juncture.
And he sort of like hangs his head. Are you going to get up and go to find Bertram and Atomica, or?
Yeah. Perhaps it would be more convenient if you place it in an envelope or something. Just keep it on the down low.
And he's sort of like he's sort of just sitting there now. He's just sitting there. He's holding the drink between his legs, and his shoulders are slumped, and he's
Right. No. And I'm saying to myself, if he's dumb enough to come to a discreet location with that money in an envelope, I own him. Because you better believe I'm going to have it recorded that he's just handed me off an envelope, and I will hand him a piece of paper in return. And I will claim that what he handed me was information, and what I handed him was cash.
It's the other way around. You're framing yourself.
No. Trust me on this.
so he's seeming quite. I mean, everyone else is moving and sort of leaving, shuffling around in the box and leaving, or finding excuses to be somewhere else. But he is just sort of sitting in the chair. He seems quite broken to you. That was a shock that he wasn't waiting for. He said, well, perhaps we can sort something out.
Oh? Do tell.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't really a fair bet, was it? I mean, because you upped it right at the last moment, and
No, I merely felt your overconfidence and wanted to test the strength of your convictions. As I say, I thought Atomica would make far more of a fight of it. I didn't think she would go for the kill so swiftly. I only knew that I didn't know she would kill him so quickly. I only knew that she would kill him.
You probably hear me at that point, having found you, go, "Are you coming, Darius?" As you could see, it was a pretty swift kill.
Yes, the gentleman and I are merely discussing a recent transaction between ourselves.
If you're a gambling man, I don't judge, but hurry up.
Yes. Please let my office know when you are ready to deliver.
I'll contact you fairly soon.
Excellent.
He sort of holds his drink in one hand and puts his head in his other hand and sort of rubs his forehead.
Shall we?
Are you going back to Atomica?
Yeah.
Why didn't you take the money now? He could just be saying that and never see you again.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Pretty much everyone in the sort of box heard the conversation about the bet and the money.
If he doesn't pay up, then as a representative of that house, he's going to lose face, and that house will lose face.
Oh. Very good, very good.
So you go back to the changing room where Atomica is, or?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, she's still there.
Yeah, and people were sort of like milling around, getting ready for the next the next fight. They weren't quite prepared for it to be over, so there's a bit of a lull in proceedings while they get the next pair next pair ready. They thought they had a good probably 10, 15 minutes before anything actually.
Yeah, we'll go in to find Atomica, and I will congratulate her on such a
Yeah,
her victory.
they only sent the slave.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Everyone here was saying how, oh, he was such a big champion and reputation, and
Apparently,
but a
Yeah.
slave.
not up to the standards we train them anyway.
And you hear there's a knock on the door, and you can open it.
Yep.
There's an official there. There's one of the arena officials, and
With
he's
my
looking
knife?
at. Yeah, I do have your knife. He says, and he holds it out to you.
Thank you.
It's been cleaned as you requested,
Thank you.
and he's looking a bit embarrassed and a little bit. He says, "I'm very sorry, but your purse." He says, "The Evangelista family have left. There's going to be no presentation. I'm afraid. Here's your purse for winning. 1,500 credits."
No meal to celebrate the victory then?
Like I'm afraid they've just left. He said, "I'm afraid they've gone back to their apartments, and I don't think they were expecting to see that."
Well, they should be prepared to lose. I mean, they know who they're fighting, right?
Well, he says there has been this rumor about you fighting Count Fenring, but to be honest, everyone thought it was either untrue or you had a massive advantage because of this. So there's drug thing. He was drugged.
Yes, Lord Fenring has been running that line because he's embarrassed about his defeat. Worse is that I let him live.
You
I've
can
seen
test,
that. I could possibly believe it.
you can
Is-
test
is
Atomica
the-
all you want. There's nothing in her.
Is House Evangelista are they holding Lord Fenring's account of his altercation with Atomica as gospel? Do they believe him?
I can't speak. I can't speak for them. He says, but he has a certain reputation, and people tend to believe that he would have won that unless there was some sort of foul play.
Well,
I think we've
I
established the facts now, haven't we?
I would ask that you take a small sample of Atomica's blood for testing.
Here you go.
When it is shown that she is not under the influence of any substance, not only will you acknowledge this victory here, but it will also prove categorically that she is more than capable of defeating the likes of Lord Fenring without the use of drugs.
He said,
And you will be held to test to that.
I can quite believe that. He says, after seeing that throw, such speed and accuracy, absolutely incredible.
Take your sample. Let us deal with this rumor once and for all.
Everyone fails eventually. It is the human condition.
Quite so, Doctor. Yes. If you want me to get a sample, I will get the arena physician.
Yes, we will.
With your as many tests as you want to run everything you can think of.
And he disappears for a while and comes back with another doctor. And he does indeed. He'll take a sample, a little drop of blood, and if we find what we say you're going to find, or nothing in fact, yes, you've earned the envy of all gladiators.
Obviously,
Such a-
of course,
such a
we
win.
would ensure that the testing is done with witnesses.
Do you wish to attend the testing?
I most certainly do. I would have my esteemed colleague Burton here join me. I can be a witness to testing, but I will admit that I probably wouldn't know what you were doing and how. He is much more able to advise me on such matters, and obviously, as Atomica is the center of this, I would ask that she be a witness to it as well. It is her blood, it is her
I trust
honor that is at
Burton.
stake.
Thank
Very
you,
well.
Simon.
Sure. Okay. If you'd like to follow us, and they lead you down a few corridors and into a small room, and it's been set up as a bit of a. Well, it's probably where gladiators get a few drugs themselves before they actually do go out. And there's obviously the doctor set up in here, and he's got bits and pieces for testing. And
As long as
he
I don't
tests.
perform. Oh, sorry.
No, carry on.
No. You
Perform
go.
what? Okay, so he starts getting kit out of his bag and setting up some other stuff, turning equipment on, and he starts running this blood test. And from what you see, Burton, he's doing everything the way you would have done it. He hasn't got perhaps as good equipment as you, but you can't see any reason. He's not doing anything wrong. He's quite competent with what he's got. He's just working with lesser equipment. He says, it's going to be a couple of minutes before we actually get a result, if you're okay for waiting.
We are.
I'm a doctor. I'm used to waiting.
And a couple of minutes go by, we're just standing around, just waiting. He's working.
And I was about to say, and I'm a diplomat. Waiting's part of the job description.
I do lean over though towards Darius and say, we have nothing to worry about here as long as they don't perform a blood transfusion without her consent.
And as Burton watches the doctor perform his duties, he's done nothing wrong. And he actually looks up and goes, "Yep, she's absolutely clear of any known drugs, any normal drugs used in this sort of circumstance, any of the common drugs. Yeah, nothing wrong with the sample at all."
Does this doctor have parchment? Paper, pen.
Yeah, there'll be some sort of paper and pen. Yeah.
Paper. Hand him the pen. I would ask that you write that and that you sign it.
Yeah, he'll scribble.
It's in doctor's handwriting, though. What use is that?
I was going to say, yeah.
Make it clear. I would wish it clear and legible and unambiguous.
And he can even give you a
Caps,
copy of the results as well. And it says that he did it, and Burton can counter us on it as well, as if you want to say you seen him do the test.
Let me.
And they can give you the paper.
Now ensure
Atomica was drug-free.
Indeed, she is.
Now, I am sure that you will be quite willing to explain to your masters that our champion was drug-free, and she defeated their champion fair and square. As she always does.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we have all the evidence we require here. Yeah.
And I hope that further to this puts paid finally to the rumours regarding Lord Fenring's defeat. I think today has shown more than anything our champion's capabilities.
Yes, I'm sure you're correct.
We would consider any continuation of the slander.
In fairness, they are not the Fenrings.
No, but
I mean, for a start, they put up more of a fight, I'd say.
I suppose you are allowed to butter yourself up.
Obviously, we need to rearrange, reschedule, and give you a bit more of a challenge. Maybe you against 3 opponents next time to give you a bit more of a challenge.
In my head, I'm thinking maybe Ordos has someone. But I'm guessing I shouldn't say that right now.
Possibly not. Well, not that these people would don't know anything about it anyway.
Yeah. What I'm finding unusual is that I would have expected to have had a victory dinner. That's the bit I'm confused about. I thought this would be an opportunity to meet their family. Not.
I think they've taken it a little bit harder than that.
I'm not even a diplomat, but I can tell they're just being rude.
Yes.
They totally expected to win.
Something that I will
You want to be
be
careful about slighting me, really.
something I intend to deal with my counterpart when I discuss the matter later.
Good.
But we'll deal with that as and when it arises. You will report to your masters regarding the results here. This slander regarding our champion ceases now.
But they're not the ones propagating it, Darius.
No, but they're the one. But they're
Well,
really trying to cash in on it.
It is done. We have pieces of paper.
Yes, you can now prove it.
There has been zero dispute with these people. And they let me countersign. Which I was
Shall we
surprised
go?
at. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for your due diligence, Doctor.
As always, Darius.
I was meaning the other doctor.
He said, "Oh, thank you. I'm just a gladiatorial doctor, but
I can thank you privately. I'm thanking this guy.
Having said that, and I sort of say a little remark about you could get a nice upgrade for your equipment. That you could use a better whatever.
It's possibly, but this is supplied by the arena. I don't, not my stuff.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing.
So, are you leaving now? Are you going back
Yes.
to your car? Okay.
Yes.
As you're walking back to your car, you see someone, a servant come up and say, "Mr. Wardson,"
Yes.
and he holds out a piece of paper, folded piece of paper.
I look at it.
And it's all there is there a place and a time on it.
How far away time wise?
It's several hours yet. It's at night on the outskirts of the city.
Yeah. How far away are we from our own house?
Oh, you're quite away. Yeah, you're a couple of thousand miles.
Yeah. Here's us. Here's the equator. Here's them.
Okay, we need to head back to wherever we're staying.
I might suggest Tomika accompanying you to solve the transaction.
Well, you're damn right.
I think we should all be.
No, going alone. That's best case scenario. This guy is going to be a sore loser.
So you can go back to your hotel and have a bit of a rest. Obviously, there wasn't much physical exertion for Atomica, but she might be a bit mentally sort of drained with stress and tension.
Do we have a secure line back to our own royal house?
I wouldn't say secure,
You could probably bought some of your own equipment, and you could probably use code. About as secure as you're going to get.
They'll hear the code. They just won't, hopefully, know how to crack it.
Do you want to send a message back?
I do. Very simple message that I'm going to meet my counterpart at a secret rendezvous in a few hours. I'd like our spy network as best as possible to get that out there as secretly as possible, so that House Evangelista might accidentally hear.
So you want to tell them really quietly?
I want them to try and figure it out. You know, basically I want to create the smoke screen.
Don't forget, we actually have a way of supplying them information they think is coming from their own spies.
Yeah, we use that as well.
What you came here for is to find out what's going on.
Yeah, I want to create the narrative that this diplomat is coming to see me to give me information, not to give me 400 credits. That's why he's meeting in a out of town in a nice.
So the message you send back is to send the message back again, so it goes around in a big loop, that we're meeting an informant and give a place and a time. But now by doing that, you're pretty much guaranteeing that Evangelista's security forces will be everywhere and will be massively outnumbered. Not being funny, but I blew my Karama points. And I only got 2 knives.
Well, we gotta send. For me, we gotta kind of send it out there. I want to put. What I really want to do is put this diplomat under a lot of pressure. If I can get this diplomat believing that his house think he's informing on them, then we offer him safe haven in return for information.
Yeah.
And we might get the information we need. Because he's bound to have.
Do you want to turn him by turning the house against him?
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
But we don't have time for a long con. I would love to do this more subtly, but we don't have time for it.
Probably what you want to do is you want to just probably tell them to say they've got a traitor in their midst, not tell them who or what time or something. Because like Becky says, you have the army pitch up.
Yeah, that's true. Even the fact that he's the fact that he goes missing for a couple of hours and no one maybe knows where he is.
Let their own paranoia work on them.
Yeah, let that work. Yeah.
So the thing is we put the message out that, or we feed them the message that we are meeting an informant at a certain time. We're going to have to shake a tail because we will have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on this, we will leave them questioning who the informant is. They'll just think they've got one.
Yeah. As I say, I would love to do this more subtly and over a longer con. We don't have time. We're up against it.
The way we do it subtly is if we can shake the tail on the way there, but we'll try and pick it up on the way back by following him back so that we have kind of arrived together.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's I think what we should do.
Because we've got to turn this guy quickly because if we're going to stop whatever's going to try and happen at the wedding, amongst other things, we've got to have. I don't think we've got time to get eyes and ears inside Evangelista. We've got to try and get eyes and ears that are already there to tell us. We've got to turn somebody.
Okay, so you can send your message off, and basically what you're saying is just to sort of make them paranoid about you having someone inside their house. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are going to go and meet this guy in the evening?
Bloody right I am. It's God only works if we make it look like we're actually meeting an informant. But I agree with Becky. We got to shake a tail because we're going to get one.
Okay. What's your plan for shaking the tail then?
Well, we're going to go by car, which will help us identify who the tail is. So we're going to drive around for a while first, possibly even do 4 laps of a roundabout somewhere.
Yep.
So once we've identified who the tail is, and then we can take it from there.
Okay. So yeah, are you doing anything to prepare in the meantime, or are you?
I'm going to have I'm going to bring a folder, manila style folder, a couple of envelopes, a smaller envelope, the envelope is going to have an IOU, sort of receipt for the monies. And then I'm going to put another one, identical envelope with some sort of, thank you, money will be deposited as instructed, I'm going to try and see if I can, I'm going to show him the one envelope and try and switch it and give him the other. So he thinks he's getting the receipt for the 400 he's given me, but what he's actually getting is, yes, thank you very much for the information.
Okay. Is there anything the other two want to prep before you go, or is Bertram going?
Yes, apparently I am. I just can't think of anything else that I need to prepare specifically.
No, I mean, I'm taking all of my gear for combat with me because I possibly am going to have to kill some people.
Okay, so you're going to be.
I mean, I know this.
Preferably a last resort.
I know this is a risky strategy, guys, but we've got to.
Hey, it's your plan. If it goes wrong, I'm not to blame.
I accept that. I accept that completely. I accept that completely.
Atomica would just nuke them, so.
Well, I was expecting a dinner in my honor, but figured we'd just talk to them. Didn't work. Maybe the mooning was too much.
To be honest, if they'd invited us back and given us the dinner, I think we could have avoided a lot of this. I think we could have done something a bit more. We could have done some questioning and maybe some investigating and done all of that. But unless they change their minds and suddenly invite us as a way of saving face, I don't see us getting in with them to ask them those questions. If this completely fucks up, I fully accept the responsibility.
Okay.
But
let's see if we can identify who our tail is, first of all. So when we're ready, we'll head on out and we'll circle a roundabout several times, go up to the next roundabout, circle that, come back, circle.
Who's driving and who's watching?
I'll be passenger.
Okay.
I might as well drive then.
Okay, so
I would say because I can't.
Well,
have you got some sort of operating vehicle role? Is there a mutual?
That's true. I didn't think of that. I imagine.
Well, you don't necessarily need skill, do you? If you got stats, right?
That's true.
So it's all coordination, dex and coordination reaction.
Okay. Yeah, I've got coordination dex of 3.
Okay, because it'll probably be a transport type of transport roll.
Yeah, I don't have any sort of transport thing. Apparently, I'm not a paramedic.
It's fine. I mean, like, as we found out, I could dogfight. I just can't fly.
All right. So, do you still want a dex roll, Phil?
Yes, please.
All right. Let's see if we hit a pothole. Oh, 6 on the drama die and 6
Oh,
on
that's
the
good.
main die.
Wow. Okay, good roll.
Thank you.
Bertram's driving is extremely smooth. He doesn't raise any sort of suspicions that he's trying to sort of do what you're trying to do. So he goes unnoticed by the actual like police authorities. Very careful on the roads, doesn't break any road laws, and it just looks like a tourist lost his way by circling the roundabouts several times, looking for an exit that he wants. So he's a very natural sort of driver, driving casually. So Atomica, can you roll me a either observation or subterfuge?
Yeah, it's going to be observation, which is so intellect perception. Oh, come back, dice. All is forgiven. Hang on. Oh.
If you want, I'm also able to roll subterfuge as well.
9.
9, okay. Yeah, you can do as well, Darius.
I
That would
basically,
be a 7.
I just see myself as like one of those electric cab taxi drivers where they just sort of do this thing with the steering wheel, with one hand, like,
Yeah, I say you're driving very, very casually. So you managed to go unnoticed in most of the traffic. But sorry, what was your Darius? What was your roll?
7 in total.
7. Okay.
Nothing
So
bad.
Darius, you spot first. You spot the green car behind you has been following you.
Oh,
But Atomica, with your higher roll, you notice that it's not only the green car behind you, but it's the blue car, two cars behind that's also following you.
Okay. Let's just pull over into a lay-by.
yeah.
We'll
they're
go talk
doing-
to them.
You're going to talk to them. Okay, so what happens is that as you pull over into the lay-by, the green car drives straight past you, and the blue car pulls up to the side some way behind you.
Okay, I get out the car and I start walking toward the blue car.
When you get about halfway between your car and their car, it suddenly pulls out and drives off.
Yeah.
do I get the
Is it the
chance to?
preparation? Oh,
I was just going to ask, do I get a chance to see who's in the car as it comes past?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, certainly. There's a couple of reasonably young men, but they don't seem particularly normal to you. They seem to be dressed very similar. They have very short hair, clean
What, to
shaven.
each other, you mean? Similar to each other?
Yes,
Are they twins?
they're not twins. No.
They have
special
a-
forces.
Okay.
There's a type apparently in this.
It's just that sort of like they're not just wearing just any old thing someone would have thrown on just to go to the shops or anything. They're both wearing sort of from this sort of period, sort of both wearing like grey bomber jackets and short hair and
All right, well, I head back to the car, and then I suppose we have to repeat the operation to make sure we don't pick them back up again, or if they have, make sure they put somebody else on us.
Okay, could Tomica and Darius roll me some spot hidden or whatever you call it, observation and subterfuge. Burton's driving roll was good enough to. He's just.
It's another
Uh,
9 to me.
He's got He's got a second job as a chauffeur if he needs one.
Just six from me this time.
Okay, so Darius, you don't find anyone. You don't see anyone behind you. There's a few cars milling around, but you don't seem to you don't spot anyone.
Okay.
And Atomica, you think there might be another car, but maybe quite a way back. It might be 4 or 5 cars back, one you haven't seen before.
Okay, we can. How much time have we still got? Because I mean, I know we'd have left ourselves a little bit of spare time to allow for some of this, but
Yeah,
I
you've
guess
probably
we maybe
got
start
about
pushing it.
you probably got an hour's time before you got to get there.
Okay. Yeah, so I think what we'll need to do this time is we're going to have to drive slow enough that we actually kind of force our way back through the traffic. And then as they come past, if they've got short hair and bomber jackets, we'll just have to take out their tyres. Or tap on the window or something like that. We're just going to have to get them to pass us.
Okay, so yeah, Bertram slows down. Maybe even sort of, you might even simulate a bit of car trouble just by jumping the car. And cars start pulling out from behind you and going around you. There's a couple blaring horns.
Hazard lights.
But very, very soon, yeah, the other car, the other car's right behind you. And as you look through the mirror, you can see, yeah, they are dressed the same as the other two that Bertram saw.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got the sunroof.
Yeah, you can have a sunroof. Yeah.
Okay, let's open it up. And I'm going to get out, stand on the seat, and I kind of do this on the roof.
Subtle. Okay,
Since
so
when is Becky subtle?
Right. Just right. This is the session that started with butt plugs and dildos and mooning at the audience, and now we're wondering about subtlety.
yeah, we are.
I had to show them disrespect. They were booing me.
No, you're quite right.
So yeah, you see, you lean on the roof and you look back at these two, and they both sort of look at each other, and they'll pull out and push past. And then sort of like as they pass the junction, Burton will take a left then to take them away from where they are.
Yeah, and we boot it for a little bit, get away from everyone.
Okay. If you can do me a couple more spot rolls, you two.
Mm-hmm. It's only an 8 this time.
Okay. Let's top in a moderate. Sorry, Ronnie.
7 from me.
7. Okay. Well, that's 2 moderates. So, yeah, you can't see anybody following you now. You think there were 3 cars in total, and they're probably boxing you and then rotating.
Box schmocks.
And
You think we're shaking them, yeah?
You think you're shaking them, yeah.
Okay, let's head to the shindig.
And you pull up. Yeah, you head off. You've got some sort of, I don't know, you've got some sort of handheld. You brought with you some sort of GPS or something to take you there, instead of relying on what the car telling you, because they might be able to track that. And you pull up at the rendezvous, maybe 20 minutes early. It's on the edge of a park. It's next to a wooded area, and there's quite a large lake in front of you.
All right, so we need to scan the area as quickly as possible to make sure they're not set up, and then we need to set ourselves up, or at least I would like to be in a hidden position. So if I surveilled the terrain, where would I be if I wanted to observe this or snipe or something like that?
There's a bit of a rise. The trees are on a bit of a rise going up from the lake, actually.
Okay, let's go check it out. Make sure it's clear. So I rush off.
So
you
what are you
have
doing?
already let them know that you're with us, though, with your roof display.
Indeed. Although that's not the person that's meeting us, but yes.
Are you physically looking, or are you going to do some sort of sensor roll?
No, I'm running up there to have a look.
Okay. So you run up there to have a look. Can you roll me a stealth?
Ooh, I have points in it. So is that coordination dex?
Yeah.
Oh, double 6, 8 total, but drama die and a normal die 6.
All right, excellent. So you must have
Well,
some points
they
on top
add
of that.
together, don't they?
Those two do, and then you must have
Yeah,
some
so 12.
skill points on top.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
a couple, put 2 skill on top of that. So.
All right, so
So
you're
you're
looking at 14. So that's the top end of difficult. So yeah, you move through the woodland, not making a sound. Even the wildlife don't realise you're coming. You can see there's a few people far off, maybe along the side of the lake doing some fishing, but they are quite a way away. You can scope out with some binoculars, and your impression is that they're nothing to do with any surveillance. You can find no one in the area.
Okay. In that case, I'll conceal myself to observe what goes down and set myself up with a las gun.
You love that las gun, don't you?
I've never pulled it out before, but yes, okay, I love it.
So, Burton, are you staying with Darius? And Darius is staying with the car.
I
Oh, God,
guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So after about 20 minutes of waiting, you see some lights swing around the bend off the main road, and they come up the track towards the lake where you are, and the car stops. The door opens, and Darius's opposite number gets out, and he sort of stalks over to you and slams down a package on the bonnet.
Now, mind the paint.
Wow, I mean that was a scam. You tricked me into doing that.
That was not a scam, sir. That was hubris on your part. Nothing more, nothing less. I took all that happened was I took full advantage of your overconfidence.
The family are absolutely jumping, and they blame me for arranging the damn fight.
Well, didn't you?
He did,
Didn't
yeah. He did with Darius.
So just so that we're fully availed of the situation, you organized the fight that you lost. You took a bet and lost. You took odds on that bet and lost. And now you're complaining that the family for whom you've lost 400 and a small amount of face are upset with you?
Yes, they were very embarrassed that that woman just beat the champion so quickly and easily. It wasn't even a fight.
Right. I'm still in the car, aren't I?
You can be in the car, out the car, up to you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'll
let me
be
go
in
out
the
the
car.
car.
I show him the receipt. I do believe in doing things properly. You know, you have your you have your accounts that you must balance. I do believe in being fair. This is the receipt for the 400. And as I seal it, Phil, I seal it, I'm going to let it slip, so it's down the side, so it falls out of his eye view, and I'm going to reach as if I'm getting it, and I'm going to get the other envelope which I've already sealed, and I'm going to hand it to him. There you go, sir.
Okay, he snatches it out of your hand and just shoves it into a pocket. Like,
Thank you very much. That's is very, very wonderful doing business with you. Thank you.
I was going to say, seeing there's no threat, I'm actually going to depart early from the woods and sort of get back to the others while the guy's still there.
okay.
The main reason for that isn't to take part in the conversation; it's so that we can do the pursuit thing. But yeah, no, like, obviously, there's no threat, so I'm heading back.
He's come by himself. He doesn't want anyone to sort of know that this is happening. He wants it dealt with quietly and out of the way.
I gestured to the lake and say, as a doctor, I feel like I should know swimming.
Sorry?
Couldn't
Sorry,
hear a
Jason, I couldn't
word
hear you.
of that.
Your
Can you hear me
connection
now?
went funny. Yeah, you're fine now. It just went funny for a moment.
It was a really good joke as well. No, I gestured to the lake and I say to him, as a doctor, I feel like I should tell you that swimming is very good if you're in a bad mood, very therapeutic.
He sort
Isn't
of
that
takes
lake
that.
filled with your tears?
He sort of takes that as you're sort of taking the mick out of him there. He's trying to wind him up. And he's getting more and more sort of furious. He said, I don't need to go bloody swimming. I just need this out of the way as soon as possible.
No, you're absolutely right. I extend my hand out the window to shake his hand.
He doesn't shake, but he just grabs it, squeezes it, and lets go.
Wonderful, wonderful doing business with you.
And
Right.
he turns to go back to his car as Atomica walks up, and he sort of just looks to his side and sees Atomica walking out of the woods, and sort of like his shoulders drop. He's, "Oh, you're the cause of this trouble."
I have to say, I'm a little bit offended. You know, I was expecting a victory dinner.
There was going to be a victory dinner.
Oh, but not if we win. No, just a funeral. And that just makes it worse, you realise.
Yeah, well, they no one wanted you to win.
Well, I did.
Obviously, well, maybe
Also-
you did.
Look, I'm the general of our armed forces and our security at our palace, and you put a slave against me. I mean,
Yeah,
what were
He
you
was a-
expecting?
he was our best fighter. He's never been beaten.
I mean,
They're obviously
you not
quite
have a-
sheltered down here.
do you not have I don't know, a sword master or a general or somebody with some military training?
Well, yes, we do, but we wouldn't risk them in a arena battle. They're too valuable for that.
At this point, I do sort of I open the car door and I sort of look not towards Atomica and the silver guy. I'm looking sort of behind us, and quizzically, and then turn to Bertram and say, "Are you sure?"
Am I sure about what?
Well, I knew we saw something earlier. Are you? I can't see them. Are you sure they followed?
What do you mean? Who followed who? What are you talking about?
Oh, probably nothing. Just it's probably nothing.
What's probably nothing?
Well, nothing is probably nothing. That's why it's nothing. It's just don't worry about it. It's be fine.
Maybe they went swimming.
The sooner you Chavonas go home, the better off I'll be.
As you've already observed, though, we don't really care how you feel since we won fair and square.
Very much so. Did they
Not
receive
even a
the?
congratulations. We just get insulted for it. That's what offends me. Like, I beat Fenring, the whole house takes offence. I beat these guys, the whole house takes offence. Like, what does it actually take to earn the respect here of somebody who is the best swordmaster on the capital planet.
To lose.
Apparently, if you prove you're the best, you just make enemies. I mean, it's fucking outrageous, is what it is.
Well, no one wants someone else's swordmaster to be the best. They want their own to be the best.
You know what? Fenring was right about one thing. Somebody cheated in that fight. It just wasn't me. And I get in the car and slam the door.
You can't be saying Fenring cheated. He lost.
Yes, I know. But I could see the pupils in his eyes. They were very dilated.
With respect, sir, but the two comments are not necessarily diametrically opposed. One can attempt to cheat with the intent of winning and still lose against a far superior opponent.
Oh, I don't know where you lot. Just finish your business and go home and leave me alone. Just get out of my hair.
As you wish.
So he goes back to his car, opens the door and jumps in.
Okay.
Starts the engine and swings it around as he heads back to the road.
Good, he's going to be too angry to observe, but we should follow without our lights on.
Indeed.
Ooh, lights on.
The reason for the hang out the car bit was I was hoping to pique his paranoia by the idea of maybe somebody following us and witness the exchange. I thought that would play into the we're being followed now narrative.
So if you can follow with lights off, I need Bertram to do another transport roll or drive roll.
Okay, well, not as good as the last time.
Okay.
But still a 6 on the drama die and a 5 regular.
It'll count as a 6. What's the skill
yeah.
bonus? Oh, none.
There is no
isn't it?
skill bonus,
No,
so
no,
it's just.
Oh, okay. So so that's you start off quite well following his taillights, but it's quite difficult driving on a road in the dark you don't know. You start falling back. He's moving away from you.
Maybe now is the time for him to think he's being followed by someone. Seeing as we're losing the tail anyway.
You turn the lights on. And you see the car in front immediately speeds up.
Let's follow.
So you speed up as well?
Yeah, floor it.
Okay. So you floor it. You start chasing after him. And as you start gaining on him, he goes faster again.
We're going through a populated area yet.
No, there's a few more things around, but still not into a town or anything yet. Not back into the city or anything.
Okay. So we want to basically be sighted following or, arriving at the same time as this guy.
Oh, wherever you were arriving, back in the city? Okay.
Because what we want is we know that they know we were meeting an informant. We know that they know he was missing at that time, but that's not suspicion in itself. Lots of people will be missing at that time. But if they can place us returning at the same time as him in the same area, so we basically want to pick up our tail again.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And if they do decide to search him, they're going to find a very nice letter that says, "Thank you very much for the information. We'll keep it. We look forward to doing extra business with you."
And I assume there was 200 in there, right?
200, not 4.
Well, no, it was more.
You got to pay him for the information, right? So, and you were picking up 400, so just put some money in there and.
No. The letter says that the payment has been made to your usual account.
Oh, make it look like he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah. That sentence alone, your usual account. That
Okay,
sentence
so-
alone is just going to pique him.
So he picks up speed again as he races towards the city. He's starting getting into a lit area now, so car lights aren't quite so important. He's driving quite well. He's I think he must have driven at speed before again in the past at some point. Jason, could you do me another roll, please? Drive roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
Basically same as last time. So 6 on the drama die, 5 on regular die.
Okay, as you whiz past a side street, you happen to glance up into your rearview mirror and you see two lights come on and a car pull out from behind you.
Uh-oh. We
Okay.
have company.
Now we need to divert from the other guy because we've got to make it look like we're splitting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to...
Well, actually,
close.
I think the perfect thing is if we go a different direction to this other guy, but actually kind of head back out the city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because then it looks like we are just actually splitting.
You come to a large junction and he is going to go right. So you take the left route, you go left. You go the left route.
What other
It's
directions do we
It's
have?
crossroads, straight on, left, right.
I would say straight on, then left.
I take left at some point, yes.
Yeah. No, the idea being if we go left and he goes right, we're making it kind of obvious. Whereas if we go straight ahead, it's as if we're trying to hide the fact that it's not him. But,
Oh, you're triple bluffing.
I may be overthinking it. I admit to this.
There is an argument inside the car as we approach the roundabout, and then Bertim decides.
What's Bertram doing?
Stop backseat driving.
Left, right, or straight on?
I go straight on for a bit, and then probably take the next.
Then
left.
take the next left. Okay.
Yeah.
As you look back through your rearview mirror, or as people just look back through the mirror, the car behind you pulls up at the junction and stops for a bit. There's no other traffic around. There's no reason for him to stop. Like they're making a decision, and then he pulls off and follows the other guy right.
Okay. So what? The only other thing we can try and do now is offer him an extraction. The question is whether he's ready for it or whether it's too soon. And at the moment, I think it's too soon.
Yeah, way too soon.
Okay, so you head back to your hotel.
But if you were to leave a message saying, "We got spotted together," if you need an extraction...
Don't forget your back door through your blown or their blown contact in your city.
That's not a backdoor to him specifically, though, is it?
Not to him, but into the family. Yeah. So you can make it back. If anyone can do like an observation roll as you head back to the hotel.
Sure.
I don't have observation. I've got
8.
subterfuge.
Subterfuge will do it. 8 is pretty good.
Shite.
It's perception, isn't it?
Yeah. Nothing on the drama die, take it, Becky.
Yeah.
I literally got
Well, the
twos
drama
on
die
seven.
was my best die, as it happens, but it wasn't a 6.
Right, so I see fuck all, nothing, and nada. I rolled 1 on the drama die. That was my die. So not only have I seen nothing, nada, and fuck all,
But something is definitely there.
Yeah. So Bertram is concentrating on actually pulling into the hotel and missing anyone that's standing in the road, unloading other cars. Darius is looking at the wrong window, but Atomic, as she just glances around as you just pull in, you see across the street the green car parked outside the hotel.
Okay. Not so bad. I think you should send that message to him about an extraction. I'm gonna go and chat to our friends.
Wait, the green car.
Mm.
Okay.
The green car was one of the ones following us earlier, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So as I get out the car, and I'll sort of walk back up the ramp of the car park, and I'll wave to them across the road and sort of head over, very non-threateningly. Just, hi, and then I'll cross the road and sort of go up to their window and sort of wind it down.
And you see, before you knock on the window, they're sort of like talking to each other, and the one on the pavement side will open the door and get out and stand up and say, well, "What do you want?"
Oh, we're just letting you know that we're going to go to sleep now, so you can, take it easy.
I don't know what you mean.
We're very professionals.
Oh, go to sleep then.
Have a good night. If you get cold at all, may as well wait in the lobby. We're not going anywhere tonight.
And you can hear him muttering something under his breath as you walk off.
Yes, I really am that cocky.
And you get back to the hotel and you can settle down for the evening or the night. Darius, are you sending a message to this guy now or wait until tomorrow morning?
I'm going to wait till the morning. I want this to. I know.
We picked up a tail. If you need an extraction, let us know via the usual address.
Yeah, I suppose I could send that message.
How are you going to send the message?
What's the normal diplomatic method? Is there telephones?
Yeah, you could phone his office or something. Yeah, you go, not phone, but telecom's office, whatever.
Yeah.
Email.
Okay.
Written would be better, wouldn't it, rather than verbal?
Yeah.
He said you get a message back from him almost immediately saying, "What the hell have you done? This all hell has broken loose here. There's extra security. They're looking for somebody, and you've got me into trouble now with this bloody trip out to the countryside to pay you your fucking money."
I replied to him. We were merely acting upon the information that you gave us. Obviously, we would like to ensure that an asset such as yourself is kept safe. If you do not wish our help, then obviously I will understand, and we will leave you to it. But
what do you mean asset? Have you communicated that back to your house, back to Shavona, back to Mazine? Because it's got back here. There's a mole in the family.
Obviously, I cannot divulge the content of communications between myself and my house. All I can say is that they're well aware of the information you have been supplying us over the last few weeks.
I haven't given you any bloody information. What are you trying to do to me?
With respect, we have detailed records of all the information that you have given us. If your house do demand on a point of honor to release that information, I think we would feel duty bound. I'm not sure what kind of position that would place you in. Of course, we are willing and able to. We are willing and able to protect you should you wish it, but you would have to come in.
You bastards.
With due respect, sir, I am well aware of my parentage.
You've bloody killed me.
We have not killed you, sir. We're giving you a lifeline.
And you slam the phone down or whatever it is that you're communicating on, and it'll go dead.
At which point I turn to Atomica and Bertram and say, he's coming round.
Well, now that you've had your diplomatic masturbation session, I'm going to bed.
Oh, brilliant.
Are you,
do you want to
are you,
do you-
are you claiming that I'm a wanker, Doctor?
I'm claiming that you're getting way too much pleasure from such petty exchanges.
With respect, Doctor, I take no more pleasure in the accomplishment of my job as Atomica does in the accomplishment of hers, or you do in the accomplishment of yours.
don't
It's
say
just
a
that
lot.
I
I know
fight in a
exactly
slightly
who the
different
wankers are
arena.
in the palace.
I have this funny feeling that the pleasure I experience is very different to the pleasure you experience.
Oh, we're talking degrees now, not. We're talking mere degrees. We're not talking about the instigation of that pleasure, which is the ability to do our job to the best of our ability for the furtherment of our house.
Is he using words again?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to bed.
Lots of them.
So you go off to bed for the night with the knowledge of a job well done for the evening. Do you want to take a 5-minute break?
Yes.
I do indeed.
Okay.
Glad
See
you got
you.
the hint. See you in a minute.
Bye.
sat on the lighter. Never good. Ooh, getting your research in for tomorrow. Hopefully we'll play the rules a bit better this time, which will be a very different game. I think I no longer know how to play it because I played it wrong twice in a row. You're muted.
Yes, it will actually make quite a big difference.
The thing is, Jason and I hadn't played that in about a year. So we'd obviously forgotten the rules, played it wrong, and then I played it wrong with you.
Yeah, this is obviously there's a lot of rules to keep in mind, though, isn't there? So
Yeah,
it's understandable.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's going to make a big change. Because I know what you were saying about the you saying about the 5 people, 5 armies going into the siege, being an advantage for the shadow player. But I was thinking it's an advantage for the 3 peoples because you get to redeploy those guys then. Normally you wouldn't, would you? You get to move them effectively.
You get to move them somewhere else in your empire, but where you want them is where your empire's under attack.
Yeah.
And you've got to muster them out, don't forget. Mustering is hard.
Yes, I do believe it is hard, yeah. Yeah, because you start with 4 die.
Yeah. And the thing is that I think what you'll actually end up doing is fighting a field battle first. And they'll just die without the advantage of the 6.
Yeah. Because you get 5-6 advantage to start with.
Yeah, no, because it'll be an open battle, wouldn't it? So because you'll get 6 on the first turn, then you'll fight with 5s and 6s until you got 5 left, then retreat to siege.
Yeah, is that right?
I think so, because
I'm not sure.
It'll be an open. I think it'll be an open battle.
It will be an open battle originally, yes.
Yeah. So after the first turn, it'll be 5s and 6s.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do anyway. If I was defending Ministeria for 10 units and Shadow comes in, I would field battle them, and then go for a siege once I was down to 5 or less.
Yeah. But of course, when you would go to a siege at that stage, you want elites and leaders in there, really. You don't want regulars in a siege.
I don't think your leaders count toward the 5, though, do they?
No, they don't. No.
No.
Anyway, different game.
Yes. Worry about that tomorrow.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What's that? Wow.
Jason was saying this is a famous line from a film and then couldn't name the film.
Apparently, it's not a film, it's a TV series called 30 Rock.
I never watched it.
No, not did I.
It's a really famous meme.
Heard of it, never seen it.
What's it like? What's the beer like?
Oh, it's lovely. When it's not spilled all over my table.
At least it didn't get into your computer. It's the main thing.
Well, my keyboard is drying.
Yeah. It's not great. Not great. So, the next day, you had a good night's sleep, you've rested. Atomica looks out of the window, and the blue car's parked across the street.
I'll wave.
Are any of your characters going to be subtle, babe?
There's a time for subtle caution. There's a time for blasé.
I've been subtle when I've needed to. Yeah. But right now, I've just won a gladiator fight, and I'm probably the most recognizable person in the city that isn't of the family. So
Fair enough.
That is probably true. Yeah, that is true.
No, I think this is the time for being a bit blasé.
What are you planning on doing today then? Are you
should we see if our mole is still alive?
Yeah, let's send him a message.
Okay, so before you can send him a message, you get a message from him.
Fantastic.
he is extremely worried about his position. The paranoia in the house has gone through the roof. There are extra security. There's guards everywhere. There's even more guards on the street in the city because they're paranoid now. They obviously think there's someone in the house passing information out to Shavona.
Oh dear.
Because that's where the information is coming from, and it's coming from the ring you busted back in Mazine. Is feeding them information.
Yeah. This is what we've engineered.
Oh dear, and when they discover it's you, it's going to be very, very difficult for you.
You've done this to me, you must get me out.
Perfect.
Well, we're certainly willing to help you. We'll certainly help you out of the city. We'll arrange a pickup for you, and we'll get you out of the city. No problem at all. Obviously, we'll have to try and do it as subtly and as quietly as possible. Clearly, we want to keep you safe.
I still have that detector van, don't I? Nearby.
You've got it circling around the city, haven't you? Listening on information.
So that could be our way to get him out. If he can get away from the house and unfollowed, we could get him in the back of that van.
Yeah. He's gonna love us.
All the meantime, what have you been doing? Your team in the detector van have been sending back coded information. So all that information has been going back, and they've been working on that, breaking that code all this time.
So there's our extraction plan, though. Get him on board that van, and we'll send him back separately to us whilst we do a lot of fast driving and get everyone following us, and then we'll just make our way to the airport really badly. So we'll serve as a distraction.
We could create a bit more fun, if we wanted to.
What do you have in mind?
Well, I was more thinking. I assume that a lot of the sort of high-level diplomats and so on will be diplomats and other sort of members of the house. They won't all be under house arrest.
No.
That's good. Do we know where any of them are right now?
Possibly. You might be able to find out.
Yeah, let's find out.
Okay.
Here's the plan. We find out where one of them are. We go and meet them or intercept them, offer them a lift. Quite innocent, except we've got a tail on us. We quite happily wind our way. Meanwhile, the tail is reporting back to the house. Hey, they've picked up their flipping they've picked up their guy. They're off. Meanwhile, the diplomat we're trying to get out nicely gets into the detector van without anyone really looking at him because they now think it's somebody else.
Yeah, the problem is that might actually encourage them to make a move.
True, but I'm thinking prod. I am quite prepared to accept that I do not have the best planning brain. If you've got a better plan, I'm all ears.
I think we just lead them on a wild goose chase because there's going to be so many eyes on us.
How are you going to get the guy into the detector van? How do you arrange that?
With a cattle prod, apparently.
We get him. we get him to lose any tail that he has, and we'll send a message to the detector van because they're in communication with the base, and we can communicate back to our powers. So we'll get a message through to the people in the van that they should meet him at a designated place.
Okay.
The park where we met before, because we weren't observed there. So that's the place that we both know that we don't need to communicate.
So you get that information off to him and off to your detector van. Meanwhile, you're going to go for a pretty high-profile driver in the city.
Yeah. Let's actually check out all the tourist sites.
Oh, okay, so you do go to the car and you drive. You beat your horn. Burton beats his horn as he's leaving, and everyone waves to the staff at the door.
Do I?
Oh, I'm waving at the security car that's going to follow us.
And you're looking at your back window. You see 3 cars pull out and start following you. There's no sort of trying to hide it either.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll just do things.
Yeah, you drive to the nearest of the sites, and you know, as you get out, you've got a group of guys following you and surrounding you all the time. They're not doing anything to move in on you at the moment.
Oh, I'll ask them about the sites.
As soon as you start walking towards them, they sort of walk away from you.
So when was this built?
They don't acknowledge you. They just start walking away.
I think you might be scaring them, Atomica.
It's all right. I'm not holding a knife. I mean, I've got several on me, but
you do get noticed by obviously a couple of gladiatorial fans probably while you're out and about. And, so they're pointing at you. That's the one that killed the champion. That was going to be his last fight. He was going to be free. She killed him.
yeah, I did. In fairness, it was a fight to the death.
And you do a couple of different sites, and these people are with you pretty much most of the day. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna go to the airport? Are you gonna rely on the fact that your team have picked them up, or do you want to contact them?
I'm hoping we get confirmation through that the package is received, as it were.
Okay, yeah, I just rolled some dice. So you've got you get a message through saying that there was they contacted your diplomat. They picked him up. There was a little bit of a problem. How they found that he was being followed. He didn't shake the tail completely, but that the threat has been neutralized.
Sounds like there was a firefight.
There was a bit of a firefight. What they killed the people following them, and they've pushed the car into the lake with the bodies in.
Paperwork.
More
trees.
But it kind of plays in our favor, though.
Yeah, but
It's to be fair, it's not quite the way I wanted to see this happen, but the bigger picture.
You've had one of your team killed.
Yeah, they're replaceable.
who is this team you speak of?
Becky's surveillance team.
Surveillance team.
Oh, your surveillance team.
In the waterboard van.
How very efficient.
There's
of
one
you.
guy that won't be coming back.
Oh my god.
Well, he'll be given medals to his wife
Yes,
and children.
yes.
They
We're,
can pawn it for money. Seeing as the breadwinner's dead.
Or is the pension not very good?
Wow.
well, we'll ensure that she gets a pension and possibly some bonus because it was above and beyond.
They get a pension, but not death in service.
Well, the thing is, we're technically not on the books. This is definitely this is definition of off books.
Yeah.
We didn't clear any of this before we went for it.
So you get the message that everything's all right. They're heading back with the guy in the back. They've like I say they've got the body as well. They didn't want to leave the body behind. Your guy.
Oh,
So
that's good.
he's in the back with the diplomat, and
Good, that'll get him prepped.
they're headed back. You can head to the airport and leave if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they've not actually seen you do anything, they've got no reason to particularly to stop you because you've just done sightseeing today, and you leave. And once you've landed back in Mazin, there's the big fuss that they've missed a diplomat and they've shut the airports and stuff while they look for him, and some other people have gone missing, and there's a big security fuss over at the Evangelistas. Oops. Your security team arrives back maybe 24 hours after you. It's a lot. They've gone a lot more difficult route. But yeah, they've got the diplomat with them.
Medals all round, I feel.
Whoa!
Absolutely.
Commendations and medals.
Purple Heart for that one.
What are you going to do with your diplomat?
Well, first things first, we've got to convince him to crack a code for us.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that's just a case. That's just a case of just letting him know his options. He either helps us or we send him back. And the fact that he was seen leaving with us is all the leverage we need now.
He will say that he's not actually a traitor. He's actually done nothing wrong. He doesn't want to do that.
To which we say, well, here's the situation. Your house think you are, and you can either help us, or we will do the worst thing in the world for you. We will let you go with our grateful thanks. And we will ensure that our spies ensure your house knows that you were extremely helpful. So you can either be helpful, or your house can see you as extremely helpful, which I can assure you of one thing. If you're helpful to us, you live. If you're not helpful to us, then they're going to believe that you were helpful and they will kill you.
He says that this whole thing is a big complete setup, isn't it? You had me from the beginning. Did you target me particularly, or?
As I say, I have a particular radar when it comes to hubris. You made it all too easy.
He said, if I help you, I'll want to get off planet. The Baron will kill me if I'm still on this planet. You don't realise, you just don't realise what's at stake.
Well, that's something else you're going to let us all in on. Just exactly how much things are at stake. Now,
popcorn going.
Now, here's the thing. You are going to crack the code. Atomica here is going to watch over you, because I think the idea that she might stab you in lots of different places without killing you should be motivation enough for you.
No need. I mean, frankly, we already know their plans anyway. House Ordos's plans. And I'll talk about his house as if it's House Ordos. We already know what House Ordos are doing. What we don't know actually is when and the specifics of the plan, but
how do you know Ordos is involved?
We have
I
You haven't
given
had accurate intelligence from us for a very long time.
yeah I just look at him and give him that look like please.
Do you think the crash landing at the airport was an accident?
Oh, I heard about that. He said it seemed suspicious, but they told me it was fine, that your ornithopter was damaged.
I know. We're very good at what we do. But that was the confirmation we needed when we could actually see Ordos people on the ground. But we've known for a while. Your intelligence network is entirely under our control.
Well, your palace is a bit leaky as well. He said we've been getting information out of the palace for quite some time.
I know, there are leaks.
Are you saying all that was faked?
Mm-hmm.
We're good at it.
Wow, he said that's incredible news. That'd be worth a lot back home.
It would be. It would be. However, first of all, you're going to help us. And then we're going to help you. We're going to help you get off world. I'm a man of my word.
Are you gonna interrogate him?
I'm hoping he's going to come over voluntarily. That's why I'm being quite forthright.
You can see he's quite reluctant to give you some information. He knows he's in trouble. He probably knows he's going to have to in the end, but he is quite reluctant to do so.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to slide across some transcripts of their military communiques. I'd like you to start by translating these.
And let me see. He looks at them, he picks them up and he has a read. And he says, how on earth have you got this? He said, this is short range transmissions, only available within Angelina territory.
Mm-hmm. But it's not just the intelligence. So it's not just counterintelligence we're doing. We also do our own intelligence gathering.
He said, you've obviously got a lot bigger intelligence capability than we were led to believe. He said he does give you the key to translate the communications with.
Okay, so that gets passed straight out the door with some alacrity, and then I come back.
He says that should be enough to save your house. He says, if you can get me off planet, set me up somewhere where I'll be safe. New name, new identity. I've given you plenty now to save your house.
Yeah, I'll put your request in.
That was the deal. I give you information, you let me go.
Well, yes, but organising transport, organising a new place to live will take a couple of days. You're going to be a guest in our house in the interim.
Oh, I should hope so. I've just made myself an enemy number one against with the Evangelistas.
I believe we have a spare House Shavona dressing gown.
Are you putting them up in a room or the cells or?
How about? I mean, do we have a room that we can sort of lock?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we'll a very comfortable cell, as it were. He's still effectively in prison, but yeah,
he's house arrest, really. Yeah. Okay, so yes, you lock him up in this room. Are you going to arrange and let him go now, or is there all you want? What you get from the transcript is there is a military build-up. They are planning an attack. They
what
are
we need
planning.
to know is who, when, and confirmation of the Ordos thing.
Okay, yeah. There's a mention of Ordos military advisors. with more help arriving once the capital is secure.
Does it give a date?
There's no date, no. But it seems to you, with your military experience, that things are coming to a peak. So it's probably soon.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's what we need to give to the Duke. And what's his name? Fufa.
Yeah.
Okay. What more do you want from the diplomat? Are you going to have any more from him, or?
I think we'll hold him for now, because I think it's better to have him available should we need something else until the question over his house is resolved. Because as I see it, his house is about to get dissolved. So actually he's in the best place. And at that point, he may no longer have loyalties to a house that no longer exists. Because I think they're about to get the Sidorka turn up.
It's possible, yeah. So from the transcripts, you can see that they've gathered quite a large military force. If you could roll me some sort of, if you've got, Becky, or military operations.
Let's have a look to see what I've got in that.
Is there a strategy plan?
There's a leadership. I've got guerrilla action, which is under leadership.
Military operations is guerrilla action. Ronnie, you could perhaps roll me a statecraft or something.
Ooh, what do we have?
I'm just trying to find what is the skill in this. There's a command. Although I don't know.
I've got political. I've got politics. Diplomacy, negotiation.
Yeah, I think our forces usually fight guerrilla tactics based on my skills.
I don't really have anything that you'd call, apart from admin military, but that's a whole.
Okay, so you can roll me those. What you got? What you think's most suitable?
Well, if I'm adding my leadership guerrilla action, that becomes a 10.
That's pretty good.
That was on the drama die.
Okay, so you can see what they've basically done from your communication transcripts is they've arranged a strike force, and they seem to be planning to attack the capital to take key points, particularly the spaceports, so that Ordos can land more troops, more heavily armored forces. So they're basically like going in to secure points.
All right, we'll take it to Fufa and the Duke.
Okay. So you get a meeting with the Duke, and they say, "Oh, all of you going?
Sorry?
Are all of you going to this meeting with the Duke?"
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, we all did it.
Yeah. Okay.
So get medals.
Uh,
I know it was your plan, Darius.
No.
get the biggest one.
I was laughing because when you said we all did it, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's one of those ones. If we all did it and it's worked, great. If we all did it and we screwed up, we're just going to walk in there and say, yeah, it was entirely our idea. Whack.
So yes, as you walk in, the Duke says, "Oh, Atomica, well done. I've heard about your battle in the well, if you can call it a battle, in the arena. Very good win. You really sort of exemplify what the house stands for."
And
Yes. But that fight was under the guise of providing an opportunity to do what we were really there for.
Which was?
Give you the evidence you need that House Ordos is about to attack the Emperor. Which was also successful.
That is very interesting. What evidence do you have? Can you show him the transcripts, I suppose?
Yeah, the transcripts along with the cipher key.
And they look for this, and Fufa goes, "Oh, how on earth did you get hold of this?" This is pretty.
Took advantage of someone's weakness in gambling.
We do have a guest with us, by the way, from House. Whatever they're called.
Said
Evangelista.
gambling.
Yeah.
And how is he?
Unhappy.
Humiliated.
Unhappy.
Depressed.
Well,
Despondent.
Humiliated.
Humiliated.
are
Embarrassed. Shamed.
you intending on keeping him long, or?
We thought it might be wise to keep him until we've settled the issue with the house.
Yeah. Okay.
We did promise him that we would set him up somewhere safe, off-world. I was wondering if there was a penal colony we could perhaps send him to. It's technically off-world and he'd be safe.
He isn't at this time loyal to us, but the thing is, if the Sardokar are going to go and deal with their house, if that's what the Emperor decides to do, we might well find him a useful ally if his house gets dissolved. If it doesn't, then we probably can't rely on him as a useful ally.
Yeah.
And then we would
I lean
honour the
towards the can't rely him. Because of the.
Well, he'll never be one of us, I think.
No.
He might be. He might remain a useful asset
No.
if we're a good opportunity for him.
Not that
So-
he'd want to be one of us.
Yeah, it's more. I due to the rather duplicitous nature in which we bagged him. I don't know if we're going to be able to ever trust him because of the way we got him. I think he might look for payback.
He might look for payback against us personally, but he's got to be impressed with the way the house operates.
Do we know what the overall plan is?
Yeah, they're gonna basically House Evangelista are gonna take secure points and open the door for Ordos to arrive, which must mean the Spacing Guild is involved.
Yes, yeah, that's quite true. There must be. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to move the ships. Perhaps the Emperor has been pushing them a little bit too hard of late. Or perhaps Ordos has promised them more spice or something. Don't know. That'd be interesting to find out what's actually happening with that. Yes.
The diplomat may have information on that. I'm not sure. The reason I chose a diplomat to lean on is, like any house, he may well have had dealings, even at a low level, for his house in any sort of negotiations. He may know something, even if it's of limited use. It may provide us with a line of inquiry.
Any idea what Shavona will be getting out of it?
That's us. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Shavona. Evangelista.
Well, Ordos operate this way, so presumably they've given them money. But what we've got is military cables and military code. We haven't got the diploma. Yeah, we have a person we can ask.
Okay, I think we should get as much information out of him as possible. If he's not any use after that, well, never mind. But I think you need to get as much information as possible, Thufra says.
Yeah.
I'll head there now.
And we'll start making arrangements for an appointment with the Emperor to disclose this.
Yeah. I'm going to leave.
Obviously, not flavour of the month for the Emperor at the moment either.
No, I'm going to leave Atomica with this one alone. This is not my area of expertise. I am leaving this one in your very capable hands.
Bertram, are you going to go with Atomica?
Well, I could. I don't see what use I'd be, though.
Actually, I think you're a far better interrogator.
Aww. Only because I had decent rolls last time, I think. But okay.
I mean, I'll just cut bits off and see if he says something. Sometimes I get carried away and forget to ask the question.
God.
Start the bottom and work up.
Oh my God.
See, the truth is, I think I've leaned on him as much as I'm capable within my sort of wheelhouse of diplomat. I've got him on edge. I'm hoping Atomica can tip him over. At which point, I'm hoping he'll just spill everything he knows.
I think it's better to just have me as the menacing person in the back of the room and have the doctor do his thing with drugs and psychology.
Either way, we've got him on the edge. I think we need to tip him over.
Okay, so you get him dragged from his room to an interrogation room and thrown down into a chair. The two guards take up a station outside, and Bertram and Atomica walk into the room. And he said, I thought we'd had a deal. I thought we'd sorted it out. I've given you the codes for the transmissions. What do you want now?
The Spacing Guild.
What about the Spacing Guild?
Well, how are they involved? What is your house getting from House Ordos? You gave me the military code. You didn't give me anything to do with the diplomatic side. And so I thought I'd introduce you to Bertim again, who I know you've met in passing, but I don't think you've properly met his skills. So don't mind me. I'm just going to stand at the back here and let him do his thing.
A suit doctor is not that threatening.
It's not. No. You misunderstand. Threats would come from me, but I'm not really. I'd just kill you too quickly, and we wouldn't get anything. No. Bertim's skills are in getting information. That's not necessarily via threats. I'll leave it to him to explain.
Well, I feel like the poor gentleman will get bored if I just explain it. But first, I wouldn't mind starting with the truth serum.
Starting with?
Yes, starting with.
You're not going to inject me with anything.
Well, the truth serum, for starters.
And he stands up and rapidly, and the chair falls backwards behind him. He goes, "No, you're not going to start injecting me with drugs."
I do believe that's why I'm in the room, isn't it? It's to hold him down.
Yes. If you wouldn't mind, General, thank you. Makes it a lot easier for me.
There's a little bit of a scuffle, but he's no match for Atomica as she holds his arm down. Bertram pulls his sleeve up.
We could have got this done 10 minutes ago if you'd just cooperated. And I put the needle into his elbow.
Okay. Can you give me one of your narcotics?
To his elbow?
Well, as in the... No! It's an injection, not a tattoo.
Through the bone to the vein on the other side.
Wow, what? Yes, narcotics. It's going to be...
Just giving you ideas.
I've forgotten about... where is it?
That's torture.
Oh, that's right. I read the map.
Okay, so it's not torture if it's a bone marrow transplant and is saving someone else's life.
Yeah. I know someone who got in remission from a bone marrow transplant from her sister.
Oh, okay.
Amazing, yeah. She was like pretty close to going, but it just got her in the clear. It was amazing. Anyway, into 4. Okay, nothing special on the drama die. However,
Mhm.
I've done very well on regular dice, and I've lost it again. Yes, it is 7, isn't it? In that case, I got 13.
Oh, excellent. That's right, the difficult. So yes, you wait a few seconds as you sort of undo your syringe, stop packing all your bits and pieces, and he's sort of like it's the drug is working on him, and Atomica pulls his chair up and plucks him back down on it, and you wait your prescribed 5 minutes before you can start asking them questions, and you give him a couple of test questions that you know the answer to make sure he's it's working. And yeah,
What
off you
color
go.
is his shirt, sort of thing?
Well, yeah, that sort of stuff, yeah. And off you go. What questions do you want?
I mean, with this, because it's mainly Atomica's area, I kind of ask her for guidance and things as to what info we actually need.
So, what is House Evangelista getting from House Ordos?
Yep.
And
I thought that would be a bit too general a question, but I'll start with that.
If everything goes to plan, they will get chitin.
that's the planet we're on, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. And
They'll get made into a major house, and they get the whole planet.
yeah, I'm going to say no to that. And how involved are the Spacing Guild?
Well, they're quite involved because they've been paid to transport the troops.
How much specifically have they been paid?
Astronomical amount. He doesn't know exactly, but it has to be an astronomical amount. It costs 10 times as much to transport troops as it does anything else. A huge amount. Ordos must have put the majority of their fortune into this one bid.
Is there anything else we needed? Because we're not going to get proof from this guy. I mean, he might sign a confession, but
It's quite a cunning plan. You should even be on their side, really, because they want to take over Chitain and send House Carino back to Seleucus Secundus.
Right.
Yeah, but no, royal wedding. When is the attack?
It's sometime in the next week when the everything is ready.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, what's holding back the attack, and what do you fear most in terms of it going wrong?
Well, I fear that the Sadokar being able to fight off the initial landing of the Evangelista start of troops before the Ordos can turn up.
And how are you convinced that you could take on the Sadokar?
Well, we're not. We just have to hold them off for a short time so the Ordos can land. Once the Ordos are down, then they have machines that can probably take on the Sadokar.
And what are these machines?
Oh, fighting machines.
Ixion
technology.
Huh.
Apparently, Baron Atoli Evangelista has witnessed such things actually working, and this was quite impressed by them.
Huh. Well, they're easy to stop. Just need an EMP in the upper atmosphere.
And how exactly do we get one to the upper
You're
atmosphere?
determined.
You
Buy an
just-
audit hopter up, turn its shields on, and shoot
You're-
it.
You're determined to go big on something, aren't you?
Yeah.
If you can't
Yes, yes.
nuke them, you're going to EMP them.
Well, same difference, but yeah.
Actually,
What is the side effect of the other?
actually, the EMP idea isn't actually such a bad notion.
the
The
whole timing of the thing depends on when Ordos is ready. There's some particular things they have to do, so the plan is completely dependent on when they arrive.
And specifically, what is it they have to do before they're ready?
It has to do with the succession to Emperor. They've dug up the body of a deceased emperor, Frederick IV. I've created a gola of him that they're going to put on the throne.
Golas don't count, do they?
Might buy them time.
It's basically a clone, right?
Well, it's a reanimated dead body.
Ah. That they'll have gene manipulated to be identical.
Oh, well, actually, you're probably right. Yeah, it's artificially created human who is replicated from a dead individual.
Yeah, it's clone.
Yeah. Yeah, because there were hundreds of Duncan Idahos during the God Emperor stuff, which hasn't happened yet in our game, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, okay. So it's going to happen within the next week.
Depends when they can get this goal is ready to move.
Well, okay. Okay. That, I think, is the mission we'll be on then. Okay. Right. I think that's everything I can think of. Do you have anything about it?
No, nothing else.
Okay.
But I'm
well,
not there, so
we're going to we're trying to arrange passage off world at the moment, but unfortunately, like everything's it's quite hard to move you when the whole planet's looking for you. So
Well,
we
you
might
need
have to wait for things
You
to
need to
settle down.
get me off before the attack.
Oh, that's unlikely to happen. But don't worry, your attack will fail.
They've been
Now
waiting.
that
They've
you've
been
been so
working.
helpful.
They've been working for some time to divide the minor houses like yours away from the Emperor.
Yes, we're aware.
They've been feeding the Emperor false stories about you.
Yes, I know. Don't know the details of them all. Actually, I wouldn't mind knowing that.
The Emperor. They've told the Emperor that it's you had a really good plan to move the house back to Seleucus Secundus, and it was suggested by the Baron Evangelista that the Emperor take control of the house more directly, and stealing the necklace was only the first step of a three-part plan to stop your house.
And what were parts 2 and 3?
I've not been privy to that, he says, but it had to do with the necklace. Then something about discrediting your duke, and then in the end, wiping out your house. What exactly the steps were, I don't know.
Okay.
But to convince the Emperor that we were honest, we were going to be promised your fief. We were going to be promised Mazine. once your house has been wiped out.
I see.
Well, it would have been an upgrade for House Angelista. I mean, I've seen your sites.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's possibly even one of the details of the attack that maybe even the Sardaukar depart the capital to come here and attack you when our troops move to the capital.
Well, I guess we blew that for you.
Well, I mean, the Emperor doesn't know yet. The Sardaukar could be on the way now. There's no need to look at the window, Jason. You're right.
No, there's
I
this
need
really
to talk.
powerful searchlight that just came on, and I'm like, wait, what was that? So,
I think we need to talk to the Duchess. To be. The bride to be.
well, you know what she's
Okay.
like with me. That will be easy.
Because I
She's
think
practically jumping into bed with me.
if the Emperor is still planning to make a move on us, then she's in on it. She knows. And it might relate to these tablets somehow.
Well, again, the tablets will do nothing, but yes, I am so intrigued to see why she wanted them.
I think we need to present her with the Ordos military stuff. Let her know about the threat to the Emperor. Clue her in on it.
Yes. We'll see how she reacts to that.
Okay, is that what you're going to do then, yeah?
I think so. I think we're going to go up and talk to the Duchess to be, and we'll say, look, we want to tell you this because we're not in the good graces of the Emperor at the moment, and we're actually concerned he's actually planning to attack us, whereas he needs to know about this threat, and we'll just lay it all out to her.
Yeah, you can do that. You can get an audience with her because she's in the time you've been gone, she's set up her own sort of like little house within a house. If you want, she's got her own staff and stuff. And yeah, you can get an audience. And who's going to this? Is all three of you?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you get ushered in, she's sitting at her writing desk and she's writing a letter. And she stops as you come in. She says, "Oh, my three friends, please come in, sit down." And she looks at a couple of the staff that's in the room. She says, "If you would like, please leave us alone." And two of them get up and leave, but her maid stays there with her. And she says to you three, "Sit down, please, and please tell me what's on your minds."
Just to ask, have we seen this maid before? Like, is she somebody who's just...
I believe it's one we provided for her.
Okay, cool. No, that, I'm just double checking. Not somebody that she's brought in or anything.
No.
Oh,
Well, what can I do for you?
Who wants to go first then? We have, as you may know, our position with the Emperor is in flux.
Yes.
We need to let him know of a threat to the Emperor. So we need to let him know of a threat to his throne. And also, with you being his family, we felt you might want to know too. And I will just put down the dossier of Ordos communications with the cipher. And I'll pick out three that are of particular interest, sort of put them on top, and they'll have the translations underneath.
And she'll put her pen down and pick up and start reading. And you see her face sort of change to surprise when she reads this. She says, this, how many people know about this? This is incredible. Plotting against the Emperor.
Well, all of House Angelista, obviously. Us three, the Duke, who we've just informed, and Fufa, who we've just informed. The Duke actually doesn't know that we've come to tell you, in honesty. But I must confess, I've always been cautious. It's my role to be cautious of new people coming into our house. But I feel that your position with the Emperor is... Possibly we are in alignment here.
And she puts that down, picks up the next page and reads that. She says, "We need to tell the Emperor as soon as possible. This will be the end for Evangelista." When is this happening?
Within the week.
Yes.
And then we'll tell her about the other information we have that we don't have evidence for, such as the Gola, and we know the Spacing Guild's been paid off. We know they've got Ixian technology, etc.
We do impress upon her, though, that although we don't have evidence, the source of the information we believe to be solid.
This Gola plan. Do you think this would work?
I wouldn't buy it, but it's not my decision.
I believe the plan is dependent upon the very notion that no one would believe it would succeed.
Well,
shock and awe.
We need to tell him as soon as possible. The Emperor as soon as possible.
Our Duke is asking permission to speak to the Emperor, but as you may or may not know, the Emperor, I felt he'd be more likely to answer quickly to you.
Yes, I'm sure he will.
Yes.
I will contact him immediately. Yes, she says as she thinks. She sort of like zones out for a second, thinking about something else, and sort of snaps back into the room. She says, I will contact him immediately now. Yes, thank you for bringing this to my attention."
If he does ask about our assertions that we have given you without evidence, and he asks for why we feel that these assertions are to be believed, please let him know that it is because we gained that information from a member of House Evangelista themselves.
And they can be made available to speak to the Emperor if the Emperor so wishes it.
That would be very, very useful, because obviously Reverend Mother Gaius Helmore Herm is a truth sayer.
Yes.
And the Emperor trusts her implicitly, so anything that she says, if she believes it, then yes, that would be evidence to him. Ordos, damn. It's they are very dangerous.
They are indeed. We must make haste, madam. Every moment now counts.
It stems from the fact, I take it, that the Emperor gave Arrakis to the Harkonnens instead of Ordos.
Entirely possible. Speaking for myself alone, I would like to avoid this conflict if at all possible.
I don't think it's possible now to avoid conflict. There will be conflict of some description.
Well, perhaps if the Emperor, can you try not to look so excited? just calm, cool thy heated brow.
She's still reveling in her win from a few days ago, it seems.
Oh yes, fighting in the gladiatorial pits. That's very brave.
Yes.
It was necessary to obtain the information we sought.
And it worked like a charm. If you could contact the Emperor, we would be eternally grateful to you, madam.
I certainly will. Thank you very much.
At your service. And as we leave, I'm going to turn to Atomica and say, right, go back to that diplomat, let him know that the Emperor's going to get to know him, and see if you can squeeze any more information out of him, because hopefully he will give you the verbal version of diarrhea, because he's going to shit himself when he finds out he might have to explain himself to the Emperor.
Maybe, but see, I'm already thinking we're being attacked on 4 sides, so the Landstrad or is it House Fenris? Who else is after us?
Quite frankly, there's a good chance Landstrad are well. Landstrad did seem keen on trying to cause division between us and the Emperor.
That's true.
Now, whether they're playing their own game, or whether they are a tool in trying to create division so that they can report back to the Emperor and say, "Oh, yeah, you should have heard what House Shavona was saying."
There's no way Ordos would be bold enough to put this puppet on the throne and expect the Landsrad to accept it. They must have had approval from the Landsrad, surely.
It's entirely possible. As for House Fenring,
I mean, they're dealt with for now.
They're dealt with for now. I think they'll put in if they see a chance of trying to win back the tattered remains of their honor. Because we've now that honor is now shattered. The moment that blood test was confirmed, Fenring, the house,
was made out to be a liar.
Yeah, that's been dealt with. I mean, they might come back and spit the dummy out, but as far as they're concerned, they're has-beens now.
We should send them an official communique and say, at least you were more of a challenge. No, at least you lasted longer. There we go. At least you lasted longer.
The very definition of let's damn them with fake praise.
Did you want to go? Did you want to go back and question this prisoner again, or?
I could stick my head in the door and try it.
I just think if he's. I keep coming back to this. I think he's on the edge and ready to go. If there's more information to get, he might want to tell us in the hope that we'll say, "Okay, you've told us all we need to know. You don't have to speak to the Emperor."
Well, it's might not necessarily be up to you whether he speaks to the Emperor.
No, but we can sell that possibility to get the information from him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go in there with the recording device, and I'll set it up in the corner of the room before I even speak to him. I'll sit down and say, "The Emperor would like to hear everything that you told me and anything else besides. And unfortunately, we're not able to move you off planet yet. However, if you could talk to the camera."
Well, just repeat everything again.
Repeat everything again to the camera, but anything else you might have missed as well. It's either that, or unfortunately, you might have to go to the palace to deal with the Reverend Mother, the Truthsayer.
Oh my God, no, I don't do that. I'll do whatever I can. Just don't put me in front of her.
Everything you can think of that might be relevant. And
Okay.
if he's satisfied, then you won't get called. Unfortunately, things move too quickly for us to move you off well beforehand, so yes, the Emperor is now wanting to hear your testimony for himself.
Okay. So he repeats everything that he said to you before. And he also tells you he believes that let me see, where is it? That okay, where's that? That the Ordos stole genetic material from the deceased emperor with the aid of Thylaxian spies. They're hoping that the Sardaukar will without a head will then sort of give up and go back to Seleucus Secundus, which they're just going to basically blockade and never let him off of the planet again.
What about the Landstrad? How have you gotten support from the Landstrad?
Well, with the Ordos in charge, possibility of them giving the Arrakis to any helpful member or group is a big incentive to people.
Yeah. So the same way the Emperor controls the Landstrad.
Well, I mean, the Landstrad, the Emperor controls basically the threat of the Sardaukar and that, yeah. But obviously they'll do the same, but with their Ixian machines.
So, carrot and the stick. Just out of interest, what about House Fenring? Do they play a role in this at all?
No, House Fenring is totally under control of the Emperor.
Okay. Shame. I'll edit that bit out.
Nice.
Edit that bit out.
Hopefully they have some equivalent software in Dune.
Yeah, editing software.
And then I'll then see to it that both the Duke, or rather Fufa, and the Duchess to be gets a copy of that confession.
Okay, yeah. And you shortly after your extra interrogation, you get a call to go and see the Duke. And as you walk in, all three of you, as all three of you walk into the hall, you can see the Duke is there with Thufa and the Duchess to be. And she says, I've contacted the Emperor. He didn't believe what I was telling him initially. Obviously, it's a bit of a shock. But he wants you to bring the evidence and your prisoner to the capital so they can question him.
Oh.
I guess we'd better do that then.
Yes.
As I sit and calculate all the possible ways this could go wrong.
If we don't make it for any reason, here's a recording of his confession.
Yes. And if I don't make it back, here's a recording of my will.
And if the attack starts whilst we're gone, I have a guerrilla saboteur in cell 1 to be used to detonate as an EMP above the capital to disable their Ixion machines.
And she says, I will travel with you to the capital.
Oh God.
I mean, more security. Right.
Okay. So we'll leave it there for tonight and carry that on next week.
Yeah.
So travel to the capital again.
Oh God, help us all.
Lounge.
Well, I guess we picked our side.
Yeah.
You have picked a side, haven't you?
Yeah.
It was gonna happen at some point.
Well, it's the royal wedding, really. I mean, like, it's what the Duke's going for, so house ambition be damned, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way I see it, I almost feel like the Henry V speech at this point. If we are marked to die, then there's few of us. We are enough to do our country's loss. But if to succeed, then the fewer of us, the greater the share of honor.
Okay, so I'll put this into the chat a minute. It's a little bit of background about this Frederick IV.
Oh, I see.
Is that the Facebook chat?
Oh,
No,
in this chat.
This chat.
It's not massive.
What?
Padishah Emperor Frederick IV of the House Carino was removed from the throne by his brother during the years of treason. However, he overthrew him and again assumed the throne. In doing so, he incurred a vast debt to his creditors. It is rumoured that he owed Chome over 3 billion K units. For this, he was anxious to harvest spice from Arrakis. To encourage it, he offered the fief to Arrakis. Sorry, the fief of Arrakis to house the traders, Harkonnen and Ordos. Whoever could deliver the most spice would govern the planet, as receive a share of the tax revenues. This started the First Spice War. However, Frederick actually wished the three houses to destroy or weaken each other so he could wipe out any remaining forces himself. House Ordos, with the help of Tilaxu's spies, stolen genetic material of the deceased emperor from Kaitan and have created a Gola who would serve as a puppet emperor subservient to them. If the Ordos win, the Gola of Frederick, conditioned to absolute subservience, takes the throne.
Right. Now, did anyone hear that with the Star Wars music playing and the scrolling text going up the screen?
No. No. Because this is Dune.
All that
I was going for the Emperor's daughter's voiceover thing at the start, or even Kate Blanchett.
The Virginia Madsen.
Oh, what? The world is changing. I feel it in the water. I smell it in the air.
No, didn't she do the? Oh yeah.
Yeah, the feeling in the water, the change. I feel it in the water.
Now hang on, who did the narration at the start of? Was it Two Towers? Like, when did they do? Or was it Return of the King when they did the? Oh God, I can't remember.
No, the narrations at the start of Fellowship of the Ring is Kate Blanchett going, "The world is changing." Blah blah blah.
Oh right, it was that speech. Okay.
Yeah, Blanchett does do a quick bit of narration in the middle of Two Towers, but that's only to catch people up. I've actually seen Peter Jackson's interview. He said, "Yeah, that bit's there just to catch people up, just that they know where the geography of everything is."
Mm.
Yeah, the start of the Two Towers is Frodo's dream about Gandalf, and the start of Return of the King is Andy Serkis holding a little wriggly worm.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it, actually.
Yeah, it's been quite a few years now, actually. Great films, not the best films ever.
And I want salt.
Very well done. Better than The Hobbit.
Well,
Oh, well,
obviously,
yeah, Hobbits aren't good films.
obviously.
I mean, no, they're classics, but they're not the best film ever, which of course is Kung Fury.
Oh, we watched it again last night. It was so good.
That film is just so wild. I'm just waiting for the big screen one finally coming out.
Yeah, one day.
Mm.
Supposed to be last year, damn it.
You don't need that spine. It's holding you back.
Just
But what are you gonna do? My job.
it's just so over the top.
Okay. Well, do you want to cut the broadcast there?
Oh, sorry, I thought that was the end of the session. Is it not?
Yep,
Yes.
that's the end of the session.
Yeah.
All right, it is the end of the session. All right,
Yes,
so
it
we
is.
can cut the podcast there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Catch you later, Stephen.
Bye,
Thanks.
Steve.
All
for
right, if
watching.
you're still awake.
Yeah.
Bye.